So it's been like 15 months since we interviewed you. And you guys have been keeping the venue busy, it looks like. And do you guys do most of that, or do you have
as far as booking
promoters?
shows?
Yeah, booking is done with a small team. Matt Boyle's been involved since the beginning. Cody Peterson, and then myself occasionally. Katie manages all of like our event rentals at this point, which we do have quite a few holiday parties, film screenings. People have booked it, rented the venue just to promote shows.
Right.
Yeah, so we're open for all kinds of bookings at this point.
I've noticed it's a multimedia venue. You have artists and film and bands.
Anytime I mention the Covellite Theater to people, I try to be sure to let them know it also includes live music and comedy and open mics and things. It's not just stage plays.
Right. And you can just jump up there whenever there's a lull. Right? You get your band, you get there. Right, in-house entertainment. So you've done quite a few renovations. I saw you did the roof.
Yes, thank goodness.
Which is no small thing.
It's a long time coming.
Right.
We had good support from the URA also.
Oh, good.
In replacing the roof there. And Lincoln did a wonderful job. And it's really nice to be able to go up in the attic space and have still air. You could feel the wind move through it.
And the buckets probably. No,
the roof was steep enough, right?
In corners.
Water and snow just kind of rolled off of it. That was its saving grace. But you could see daylight through.
Oh wow!
Like 60% of the roof because it was gap boarded. An older style of decking, and then most of the original cedar shakes were very curly. They weren't quite overlapping the way they were supposed to.
Right.
There were a couple of spots that leaked, but it really wasn't that bad. It's more like the insulation value of having a sealed roof at this point.
We're still on the giant quest towards having a large venue space that stays warm in the winter. It's getting better all the time.
Right. What else? I was going to ask you, have you gotten all that stuff you were trying to get done back when we first interviewed you, the remodeling inside?
Sound and lights. So upstairs has a new sound system that's a line array, which, there used to be 4 speakers pointed at the audience. Now there are 24 speakers. So it covers the entire room equally with sound. We hung new LED lights for the stage and then moving lights so we can do fun things with lights and have movable spots when we do plays as well as the live music shows. And then downstairs also has new lights and new speakers as well. So it's gotten new equipment for both of the stages, and it sounds and looks a heck of a lot better. Still, every time we have a show downstairs, I'm so happy that you can see everyone that's on stage.
Exactly. It's not just a black abyss. You can have light on their face and see where they are.
They can approach the front edge of the stage and still be seen.
Right. Well, I ripped right through that. So do you have any exciting upcoming concerts? You always have concerts, though. I see your, I get your newsletter. Any big names or...
Trying to think of,
there's so many. Probably.
I mean, I feel like the Cutler Brothers, that's a pretty big thing to come through town, and they're taking up a 3-day weekend.
They're doing 6 performances.
Okay, over the span of 2 weeks.
7th and 8th, and then Valentine's Day weekend in February.
So some local celebrities around.
It's a stage play that Kelly Cutler wrote called Love in the Rockies.
Did he write that this year?
Yes.
Oh, so it's a new stage. It's a premiere.
Brand new premiere of an original Cutler Brothers play.
Contemporary theater.
Yeah, 2 couples accidentally double book an Airbnb on Valentine's weekend and get snowed in together.
Oh. Chaos and comedy.
So funny.
It'll be a good show for a Valentine's weekend.
So we'll probably see it on Hallmark pretty soon.
It's very fitting for Hallmark.
Right.
I'm excited. And speaking of burlesque, like the latest and greatest thing that has been going on at the Covellite that's gotten quite a bit of attention is the Covellite Players. Have you heard of the Covellite Players?
Just
to some degree.
Yeah, so we're trying to develop a bit more of a community theater style space where people of all ages can come and audition for different smaller, even like locally produced and written kind of theater plays, and doing burlesque, having some drag involvement, lip syncing, people that have always wanted to be in a creative field but not really had that option. So opening it up to all talents and all ages and having a fun space for us just to be creative weirdos.
How did that get started, though?
We started that with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We did a shadow cast back in October for that screening, and so a shadow cast is pantomiming in front of the actual screen. And so we played the movie in the background with the full audio, and then we had a group of actors in front of the screen pantomiming out those actions. And so that was our first sold-out show, and that did really well. And then we moved on to our holiday cabaret, and we did 2 sold-out nights on that as well. And that was just a big fun time where we got to dress up and have fun during the holiday season.
Adult fun.
Yes.
So you're bringing in crowds,
Yeah, the Covellite Players is very popular.
right? How are the movies doing? Are people going to the films?
You know, our house manager, Rob Cox, has taken over programming the films over the last few months, and I think now that he's done away with my desire to show a kids movie every month, which no one ever came to, we're doing a lot better. It really picked up in October. He's focusing on cult classics, things that bored millennials wish they could see on the big screen again, like Princess Bride and
like Big
Repo Man,
Lebowski.
Big Lebowski,
Yeah.
those sorts of things.
Shows that
Fun
feature
things.
crows, too. He's always on his face.
Oh, he loves crows.
He's fun.
It's his spirit animal.
No, he's doing a very good. We've had some people programming the films in the past that were using it just to show the movies that they wanted, and so it's very nice to have Rob being like, I want to do this thing, and I think the people want it as well. So this month he's focusing on animated films. He showed Fantasia 2000, and then after our special Psycho Sheep of Butte screening next Wednesday, we have Wizards from 1977, which is an animated film that is not a kids animated film. And then I think we're going to show Heavy Metal early February. Again, not a kids animated film.
Right. I was young then, so I saw some of that.
You saw some of it.
Right. Oh, I was going to ask you guys, and now the question is leaving my head. Oh, so how about the film festival? You guys are kind of collaborating with Don, possibly?
So the Covellite International Film Festival has come completely underneath the umbrella of Covellite Presents. Don was interested in working with us to pursue the future of the festival. He wants to help us with this next year, which is happening the second weekend of April, and then a year after that helping program, which is pick the movies that are shown, and then I think he'll be ready to let the baby off into the wild and do something else with his time, because he's definitely invested a ton of energy and time over the last almost decade.
Right.
Yeah. So we are doing, every fall we'll have an aperitif event, which is just 1 day teaser focusing on Montana films. And then the second weekend of April will be the full international film festival. We've had a lot of support from Butte organizations like SARTA and TBID, and then the Montana Department of Commerce via the film office also has supported financially in a big way to get the festival back off the ground.
So the film office is still going, right?
The film office is still going.
Someone told me they were losing funding or something.
They've been absorbed. They were already a department under the Department of Commerce, and their online presence and marketing aspects have been absorbed more fully under Commerce, so they could have
It's
more
all
of a
Department of
holistic
Commerce.
Department of Commerce approach to things. It does totally still exist, still offering resources for out-of-state filmmakers to connect with in-state production staff and locations and things like that.
You could make $1 million a year doing PR. You're so good.
Point me in the right direction, Jim.
Right.
I'd love $1 million a year.
Right? You have the talent and the...
That is why Ainsley is the Covellite's marketing director.
Yeah, so we have quite the lineup now, actually, of annual events and festivals. I think the one we're most excited, the one I'm most excited about getting back to is our second annual Rocky Horror Picture Show next October. We sold out and had nearly 50 people turned away at the doors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who were just hoping that there would still be tickets available.
People drove over from Bozeman and got turned away. Oh, we really thought we'd be able to get tickets at the door.
And it was exactly what you're looking for in a community event. We were talking about where these are rituals and chants. It's practically church at that point. And I think that's a big part of why the Covellite Theater becomes some people's favorite place in town, is they get to go and participate in something. They're a part of the magic.
You guys seem to really reach into the community for talent and content too. That's
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the crux of open mic. I mean,
Exactly.
that's like providing a stage and a space where people can bring their talents out in front of an audience, and it's a comfortable space. I mean, people that come to open mic it's not like a bar atmosphere where there's a lot of noise and nobody's paying attention. It's very much a listening room. It's very much people are there to support whatever you bring up on stage, whether it's spoken word poetry or your first time trying to do a stand-up comedy routine and you want to try to hone a joke or play an instrument that you've never played. We've had folks that got up and our MC introduced them as a comedian, and it's like, no, this time I'm going to actually try something different.
Yeah. We know you as a comedian, and now you're going to try something else because that's what the room makes possible. I think last week we had 6 people show up just scouting, which is where you come to open mic and just eat popcorn and see how you feel, and then next week you come to do comedy or whatever it is.
And Stan was my favorite part of last week. He's been reciting poetry and
excellent recitation voice,
song as well. And then last week he took a piece and recruited 2 other audience members to play drums and guitar behind him, and like put all that together in the space of 30 minutes while he was planning it before the show. And it was
amazing.
It was great. Like it was one of my favorite bits from the open mic. That's been a really neat spot to see how much talent is in Butte.
That is amazing.
And then we get to pull out of that new bands that form and give them a space to perform and do shows.
And Tuesday night open mic has spawned other events at the Covellite.
Yeah.
We have a youth open mic once a month hosted by Peyton Waters, who's a young comedian who's open for some really big acts that Matt Boyle has brought through town. And then we also have our every other Thursday comedy night put together by 302 Comedy out of Helena. And that's local and regional comics that started because of how many comedians were attracted to open mic. So we have our St. Patrick's Day show. We do a big honkin' St. Patrick's Day show every year. And then May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day. And then, Film Festival April, Star Wars Day in May. Do you have any big things coming up in the works that you can say anything about for Covellite players?
I don't. We are still kind of in a developing phase, so it was...
Plus it was just Christmas.
Yes, it was shocking and so amazing to see the amount of support and the want from the core group that we've started to continue to do production. So we are in the works of kind of creating what sort of streamline we need to have in order to produce more shows, but we've got lots and lots of ideas. I mean, ideas are coming in from the group every other day about potential like improv classes, murder mystery projects, doing other like smaller shadow box style plays, different kinds of like just interpersonal classes. So it's like, have you never been on a stage before? Here's just like some basic guidelines of being on stage and, what's stage left, what's stage right, upstage, and projecting your voice. So lots of different...
How to handle the lights.
Yeah, lots of different opportunities that we're seeking out and interested in hosting. So we would really like to create something for June in conjunction with Butte Pride and have like a big showcase during that, but we'll just see where it takes us. Follow us on social media and see what we're going to put out next. It'll be a surprise to us all.
So we've talked a lot about our regular events. The Covellite Players is a big project. We have several annual festivals that we're keeping the ball rolling on. And then free community things like comedy night, open mic night, movie night, drink and draw. As far as booked shows go, and music,
We do that too.
We do that too. And obviously there are some things coming up that we can't talk about until it's time to talk about them. But you have a vision for the kind of music you want to provide for Butte and Southwest Montana through music. Do you feel like, how's that going?
I think
you've had a couple of different people helping you out with booking.
Yeah. Covellite's in an interesting spot as a small to mid-sized venue. We can't, a lot of people want to see their favorite musician at the Covellite Theater. Well, unfortunately, we can't sell enough tickets to book your favorite musician most times. Mm-hmm. But I can promise that when you come to a show at the Covellite, that we are curating the music that's there. So it's a process of building trust with the audience. I remember growing up and I was going to pay $5 to go down to the local venue and see whatever the heck they had booked because I enjoyed live music. And that's always been a passion of mine. Concerts are a place where people share there's like a communal spirit that comes from enjoying a concert with a group of people that is really hard to, it kind of is a transcendental experience, if I can get a little esoteric. Because everybody is there to have a good time. Everybody's there to play and share in an experience together. And we create those experiences at the Covellite.